Welcome St. Anthony of Padua altar servers to the second part of the altar serving training video. This material covers the goings-on of the Easter Triduum. That is, things altar servers do during Holy Thursday, which is the Mass of the Last Supper, Good Friday, the Mass where we remember the Lord's death, and Holy Saturday, popularly known as the Easter Vigil or the Mass of the Resurrection. This is the highest Mass of the entire liturgical year. Let us start with Holy Thursday. The entrance procession is led by the thurifer, an altar server carrying the censer, also called thurbal, followed by the cross, which at this time is covered with a cloth, the candles, and then the rest of the altar servers. During the procession on a Holy Thursday Mass, the altar servers will not genuflect. All they have to do is do a head bow and proceed to take their position and remain standing. The thurifer will assist the priest with the censer as he incense the altar. Once done, the thurifer will place the censer back to its stand. During the singing of the Gloria, two altar servers will be ringing the bells. The bells must be rung without interruption, so the pair of altar servers has to sense each other out as they continuously ring the bells. In preparation for the Gospel reading, the thurifer and the candles will be processing with the Gospel reader as they move towards the ambo. For the second time, the incense will be used. After the Gospel reading, the candles will return to the credence table while the censer returns to its stand and the altar servers take their seat. During the washing of the feet, an altar server will assist the priest with a towel, a basin, and a jug of water. Contrary to the normal practice of ringing the bells during the Eucharistic prayer for reconciliation, on Holy Thursday and Good Friday, there will be no ringing of bells during epiclesis, the showing of bread and chalice, and when the wine is consumed. After communion, the candles will lead out the deacon along with the Eucharistic ministers to the sacristy to return the ciboria. Once done, they will return back to the sanctuary. After the closing prayer, the thurifer will approach the priest to hand over the censer for incensing the altar, kneeling down. This is in preparation for the procession of the Blessed Sacrament. The thurifer leads the procession out, straight to the chapel, followed by the cross, the candles, and the rest of the altar servers. There will be no genuflection nor head bow as they leave the sanctuary. Now, let us review the sequence of the Mass and what altar servers have to do. Next up, Good Friday. During the procession on Good Friday Mass, the altar servers will not genuflect. They will do a head bow and go straight to their seat. As the priest lies down in front of the altar servers will kneel down. When the priest gets up, the altar servers will stand up. During the veneration of the cross, the priest or deacon will present the cross on 3 areas at the nave of the church. The candles carried by 2 altar servers will participate in this. They will leave the sanctuary with the priest or deacon and head to the sacristy to get the cross. The first presentation of the cross is at the endmost pew with the 2 altar servers standing across each other. The priest or deacon will recite, "Behold the wood of the cross on which is hung the salvation of the world." The congregation will respond, "Come, let us adore." Afterwards, the altar servers will then walk up to the middle part of the nave for the second presentation of the cross. The same words will be recited by the priest the second time, as the cover of the cross is stripped on one side. After the congregation's response, the candles will finally walk up to the topmost pew across the sanctuary. For the third time, the priest will recite the same words, completely removing the cover of the cross, and the congregation responds. The cross will then be laid down, and the altar servers will leave the candles on each side of the cross and then head back to their seat. In preparation for the communion, an altar server will assist in putting the altar on by handing in the altar linens and corporal. Then the sacramental book will be placed next. The 2 altar servers will retrieve the candles back as they head to the sacristy to get the ciboria of bread. Upon return, they will place the candles on top of the altar, one to the left corner and one to the right corner. Contrary to the normal practice of ringing the bells during the Eucharistic prayer for reconciliation, on Holy Thursday and Good Friday, there will be no ringing of bells during epiclesis, the showing of bread and chalice, and when the wine is consumed. After the communion, the candles will lead the way back to the sacristy to return the ciboria. After the closing prayer, the altar servers will process out in silence. No genuflection, no head bow. During the veneration for congregation, 2 altar servers will take turns in wiping the cross clean as the people of church pay their respect. Now, let us review the sequence of the Mass and what altar servers have to do. Next is the Easter Vigil. This is the Mass of the Resurrection. It is the highest Mass of the entire liturgical year. The Mass service of the Easter Vigil starts with the blessing of fire. The priest is joined by the cross, the candles, and the rest of the altar servers outside of the church. The thurifer has to be close to the priest as he prepares and lights the Paschal candle and incense it. Once done, a deacon holds the Paschal candle and 3 times during the procession to the altar lifts it high and sing the light of Christ. Everyone responds, "Thanks be to God." After the first response, the priest lights his candle from the Paschal candle. After the second response, the altar servers will light their candles from the flame of the Paschal candle and distribute it to the congregation. After the third response, all the lights in the church are lit except for the altar candles. After the readings and psalms are read, the Gloria is sung. At this point, bells are rung continuously while all lights are turned on. An altar server lights the altar candles, and at the same time, the candles used during the procession are placed on top corners of the altar. The bells will only stop ringing when the singing of Gloria ends. At the Gospel reading, the thurifer proceeds with the Gospel reader to the ambo. The Gospel reader will incense that area. Notice that while the Paschal candle is placed near the ambo, the candles will not join the Gospel reader. The altar servers will now place the chalice, the ciboria of bread, and the sacramental book on the altar. Next are the water and wine. Before the hand purification, the thurifer will hand over the thurible or the censer to the priest for incensing the altar and the Paschal candle. Once done, it is now the deacon's turn to incense the priest. The hand purification will be done next. While this is happening, the deacon will incense the other priests and then move on to the congregation. Bells are rung once again during the epiclesis, the showing of the Eucharistic bread and chalice, and consuming of wine. After the closing prayer, all altar servers will process out. It will be led by the thurifer, followed by the cross, then the candles, and the rest of the altar servers. The thurifer has to make sure that there is enough room for everyone in the line as they leave the sanctuary. Now, let us review the sequence of the Mass and what altar servers have to do. Yes, you've made it to the end of the video. Be sure to keep watching this every so often. Thanks for watching.